Welcome. My name is Brandon. Please join me on this tour of Southbridge Mall in Mason City, Iowa. I am so excited to share this video with you. It's hard to explain why this mall means so much to me, but I'll try my best. Funny though, I remember there being an entrance here. A large glass one. There's a small one here. Looks like we'll have to enter from the south instead. I have been reading Dead Mall blogs all the way back to the 2000s. I would spend hours at work poring over deadmalls.com and the Dumpy Strip Malls blog. In 2016, I discovered the world of Dead Mall videos thanks to the work of Dan Bell. I watched hours and hours of his Dead Mall and urban exploration videos. In April 2019, I drove to Illinois to visit my now late grandfather and decided to visit several malls. While I had visited Northbridge and Skyline Plaza that morning, this was the first time I walked into a mall and thought, oh wow, I am in a Dan Bell video. It was so surreal. I had no plans to take photographs or video of the malls I visited on my trip. Someone else either has or will do that. I wouldn't be good at it anyway, I thought. However, once I noticed the roped-off JCPenney's, I decided I needed to document the change and snapped a few pictures. I returned the following October during another Illinois trip, and this time arrived late enough to have lunch in the mall. I could not explain the feeling of hanging out in a dead mall for the first time. I felt like I was in one of those dreams where you wander a building and wake up disappointed that it wasn't real. Except I really was hanging out in a dead mall. Also during my October visit, Southbridge was hosting a craft fair. I'm not into crafts or collectibles, so I usually keep to myself. However, a man at a booth said, "Hello." I said hi back and walked on toward the abandoned Yonkers. On my return, I noticed he was selling popcorn and decided to stop and chat. He said he was going to open a store in the mall. I said that sounded great. We chatted some more, and I left with a giant bag of popcorn. A few months later, Chris's Kettle Corn opened in the mall in the former CJ Bank store. Yes, Chris's opened in the CJ Bank storefront. The only way this could have been funnier is if he had opened his store in the Christopher and Bank space across the hall. Before we get to the mall's history, I wanted to say that while there is nothing wrong with the name Southbridge, I find the name odd for its location. Mason City is in northern Iowa, and the mall is located north of Willow Creek. To add to the confusion, the city of Albert Lea opened a mall 2 years later called Northbridge, located in southern Minnesota. Plans to finally build some sort of mall in downtown Mason City began in the 1970s. In 1980, it was announced that Yonkers would become an anchor, and in 1983, JCPenney's agreed to move into the mall. With the announcement of 2 anchors, the mall broke ground that year. Southbridge opened on May 23, 1985. In addition to the 2 anchors, Southbridge contained the Cinema 5 movie theater and Burgo's department store. Burgo's predates the mall by 18 years. Originally located just down the road at 113 Federal Avenue. Lyle and Pat Burgo operated Burgo's Infants and Children's Shop from 1955 to 1967 when they moved to the current building. Lyle purchased the Hungry Mind bookstore in the 1970s, turning it into a restaurant. Southbridge was built around the Burgos building, making it another anchor. While the Burgos closed their shop, they kept ownership of the building, leasing it out to smaller businesses. Lyle Burgo passed away in 2010. But as of the editing of this video in June 2022, Pat Burgo is still an active member of the community and was at the unveiling of new sculptures located in the courtyard north of the mall, a few days before this video was finished. The cool design ahead is a stage. Both indoor and outdoor stages were constructed in 2021, replacing a large glass entrance. These stages are used for public events. I like the way Mason City is slowly taking back its downtown, but leaving the building intact. Now this really bummed me out. This stand was Mr. Taco. I only ate at Mr. Taco once, and was excited to eat there again. While wonderful family-owned taco joints have popped up all over big Midwest towns, I love the way Mr. Taco served their dishes. All they gave me was meat on a tortilla. They had a bar with all the toppings and salsa I wanted. I foolishly ordered the habanero chicken and added habanero salsa to it. Wow, that was stupidly hot. I really wanted to film a meal from Mr. Taco, but they had closed. I often cut out floor footage, but I just had to leave this checkered tile in. While the business appeared closed on my Labor Day weekend visit, I checked, and Hungry Mind is still open, serving great-looking sandwiches. Opening smack dab in the middle of the 1980s, Southbridge is a great example of a transition between old 80s and new 80s malls. As we saw upon entering the mall, the lovely brown brick gives the mall a 70s vibe, while the food court neon screams late 80s. While Southbridge had a good couple of decades, it started failing in the 2000s. The movie theater closed at the end of that decade, and the mall went into bankruptcy in 2011 and was sold to the Kohan Investment Group, with a sale finalizing in 2016. JCPenney's had closed back in 2014, and Yonkers then closed in 2018 when the parent company filed for bankruptcy. In 2019, management began converting the former JCPenney's into an ice arena. I'm really impressed with the design. Instead of knocking down the building, they gutted it, raised the ceiling, and built a larger entrance at the front of the mall. That same year, the residents of Mason City were finally getting wise to the shenanigans of the Kohan Investment Group. Mike Kohan was spending his money buying new malls, but doing nothing to improve Southbridge as he had promised. In 2021, the Cerro Gordo County Treasurer sued the Southbridge Mall Realty Limited Liability Company, owned by Kohan Retail Investment Group, for delinquent taxes and interest. That same year, I heard news that Southbridge was going to be completely remodeled and decided it was now or never to film the mall while it was still an 80s time capsule. Southbridge was going to be converted to a family entertainment center called Hollywoodland. I booked it down to Mason City on a nice quiet Labor Day weekend to film. I immediately looked for Chris's kettle corn, but I never found it. I learned later that the store closed in early 2021 due to the pandemic. Fortunately, the story doesn't end here. Chris's Kettle Corn switched to a pop-up only business for several months after the Southbridge closure. Later that year, Chris's opened a brand new store in neighboring Clear Lake, Iowa. I recall seeing around 3, maybe 4 varieties of popcorn in 2019, but the business's Facebook boasts 49 different flavors. While they have a large variety of quote-unquote normal flavors, I wanted to share the fun varieties, including banana, cheeseburger in paradise, cheesy pizza, cotton candy, grape, monkey tails, Music Man medley, and several more fruit and dessert flavors. I wonder what monkey tails taste like. The Music Man medley was named after the musical The Music Man, written by Meredith Wilson, who grew up in Mason City. His childhood home is less than a mile from the mall. I sat on my Southbridge footage for 9 months because I planned to make a single pre- and post-remodel video. However, I saw new photographs of Southbridge pop up on social media in December 2021 and the following March that showed no progress. I returned in May to check up on the place myself. The mall had barely changed. However, I did see a couple of business people talking in the food court. Were they planning the remodel? In April 2022, Southbridge made the news again. The mall had been sold to developer SMBC Limited Liability Company, who has plans to redevelop the entire mall. They envision a destination with a new movie theater, more restaurants, bars, and a family entertainment center. Now here is a weird coincidence. On the exact day I visited, May 27th, 2022, KIMT3 News announced that Southbridge was not going to be called Hollywoodland after all, but Main Street Experience. Experience being written with an X. Check out my before and after photographs of the ice arena. You can see the brick of the old JCPenney's is still there next to the stairs. Management even kept the old roof. This is my homage to the Century 3 Mall Easter Bunny scene, aka the saddest Easter Bunny scene ever photographed. I thought I was really clever when I photographed this in 2019. So while this ends one chapter in Southbridge's history, this isn't the end of its story. I'm gonna miss the place, and I'm sure many people have good memories, but I am excited to know that a new generation will have the chance to form their own memories. I will be passing through again this summer to check out the remodel. But until then, thank you for joining me on this tour of Southbridge Mall. I hope you have a great day. Take care.